Hello everyone, Awesome Andrew here, and let's talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's a new year, but the year is halfway done already, at least. But let's go ahead and talk about the artists that are getting inducted this year. Though, to be honest, I feel like I'm announcing the artists into the Hip Hop Hall of Fame because of how many are getting inducted this year. Anyway, let's get started. If I don't mention a category with the artist, then they're simply getting in for the Performer category. First up, Phil Collins. With a career spanning over 50 years, Phil Collins is one of the most successful and versatile artists in rock history, having sold more than 150 million records worldwide as both a solo artist and as a longtime frontman of Genesis. Rising to fame as a masterful drummer, he stepped up as the lead singer in 1975 and became a global superstar with his emotionally direct songwriting and smooth blend of pop, rock, R&B, and soul. Hits like the iconic In the Air Tonight, Against All Odds, and Take Me Home, along with his groundbreaking solo album Face Value, helped define the sound of the 1980s. This is the second time getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, first entering as a member of Genesis in 2010. Billy Idol. Billy Idol rose from the London punk scene as a member of Generation X before becoming one of the biggest stars of the 1980s. With his signature sneer, platinum hair, and black leather look, Idol blended rock and roll energy with a soulful crooner's voice, delivering enduring MTV-era hits like White Wedding, Rebel Yell, and Eyes Without a Face. A true survivor who continually reinvented himself over 5 decades, Idol remains a charismatic icon whose influence stretches from classic rock to modern pop. Iron Maiden. About time they got in. They've been nominated countless times, so I'm happy to see them get in. Iron Maiden are one of the most influential and enduring bands in heavy metal history. Formed in 1975 by bassist Steve Harris, the British group created the blueprint for how metal bands should look, sound, and tour with their galloping rhythms, soaring vocals, twin guitar attack, and iconic zombie mascot Eddie. Breaking through with the 1982 classic The Number of the Beast, featuring new singer Bruce Dickinson, they went on to release a string of landmark albums in the 1980s, including Power Slave and Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, that sold over 130 million records worldwide and influenced generations of metal bands. Joy Division and New Order were groundbreaking forces from the Manchester scene who revolutionized music not once, but twice. As Joy Division, they created haunting post-punk with Ian Curtis's unforgettable voice in songs like Love Will Tear Us Apart. After Curtis's tragic death in 1980, the remaining members reinvented themselves as New Order, embracing synthesizers and dance beats to produce iconic tracks like Blue Monday, the best-selling 12-inch single of all time, and becoming pioneers of both alternative rock and electronic dance music. Oasis, one of the most successful and influential British bands of all time, exploding out of the 1990s Manchester scene with their cocky swagger, anthemic hooks, and electrifying live shows, the Gallagher brothers, Liam on vocals and Noel as chief songwriter and guitarist, delivered massive hits like Wonderwall, Champagne Supernova, and Live Forever, selling over 100 million records and becoming generational anthems across the UK. After a bitter breakup in 2009, their hugely successful 2025 reunion tour proved that Oasis fever is still very much alive. Sade has created one of the most distinctive and elegant sounds in modern music, blending jazz, soul, and R&B with smooth, laid-back grooves and the unmistakable sultry vocals of the lead singer Sade Adu. Since their 1982 formation, the band has delivered timeless classics like Smooth Operator, Your Love is King, and The Sweet Taboo, selling over 50 million albums while maintaining the same core lineup for 4 decades. Their sophisticated, emotional, deep music continues to influence generations of artists from Beyoncé and Drake to Adele. Luther Vandross was the defining voice of romantic R&B for a generation. With his velvet smooth vocals, emotional depth, and masterful songwriting and production, he created some of the most beloved love songs of all time, including Never Too Much, Here and Now, and the Grammy-winning Dance with My Father. From his early days as a sought-after backing vocalist for artists like David Bowie to selling millions of records with 11 consecutive platinum albums, Vandross remains one of the most influential and cherished soul singers in music history. Wu-Tang Clan fundamentally changed hip-hop by creating a powerful collective of 9 MCs from Staten Island, led by the visionary RZA. Their groundbreaking 1993 debut, Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, brought raw, gritty New York energy back to the forefront with martial arts-inspired mythology, lo-fi soul samples, and legendary solo careers from members like Method Man, Ghostface Killah, and Raekwon, With their unique business model and iconic W logo, Wu-Tang became a cultural movement that continues to influence generations of artists. Celia Cruz, getting in for musical influence, Celia Cruz, the undisputed queen of salsa, pioneered Latin music for generations with her powerful voice, vibrant personality, and electrifying performances. Born in Havana, Cuba, she became a superstar with Sonora Matancera before immigrating to the U.S. after the Cuban Revolution. Collaborations with Tito Puente and Johnny Pacheco produced classics like Quimbara and La Vida es un Carnaval, helping popularize salsa worldwide while selling over 30 million records and earning multiple Grammy Awards. Fela Kuti, getting in for musical excellence, Fela Kuti was a revolutionary force who created Afrobeat by fusing West African rhythms, jazz, and funk with powerful political messages. Born into an activist Nigerian family, he became a global icon through fearless songs like Water Get No Enemy that openly challenged corruption and oppression in Nigeria. A true pioneer, Fela used music as a weapon for Pan-African revolution, and his influence continues to resonate decades after his death in 1997. Queen Latifah, also getting in from musical influence, Queen Latifah is a true pioneer and multi-hyphenate icon, a Grammy-winning rapper, actress, producer, and one of the most influential women in hip-hop history. Emerging from New Jersey in the late 80s, she became the genre's first major female superstar with empowering anthems like Ladies First and the Grammy-winning Unity, while also breaking barriers in acting with her Oscar-nominated performance in Chicago, a trailblazer who helped redefine hip-hop for women. Latifah's legacy continues to inspire artists like Lizzo, Missy Elliott, and Lauryn Hill. MC Lyte, another one getting in from musical influence. MC Lyte is a true hip-hop pioneer and Vibe's original queen of rap. From her 1988 debut, Light as a Rock, the first full solo album by a female rapper, to hits like Roughneck, she became the first solo female rapper to earn a gold single, got nominated for a Grammy, performed at Carnegie Hall, and bring hip-hop to the White House. A powerful voice for social consciousness and women's empowerment, MC Lyte has influenced generations of artists while breaking barriers for nearly 4 decades. Graham Parsons, another one getting in for the musical influence. Graham Parsons was the visionary behind country rock. With his plaintive voice and deep love for traditional country, soul, and rock, he created what he called cosmic American music, a groundbreaking blend that influenced generations. From his work with the Birds on Sweetheart of the Rodeo to co-founding the Flying Burrito Brothers and his classic solo albums GP and Grievous Angel with Emmylou Harris, Parsons brought emotional depth and sincerity to every song. Though his life was tragically cut short at age 26, his legacy continues to shape Americana, alternative country, and rock music today. Linda Creed, getting in for musical excellence, Linda Creed was one of the most gifted songwriters of the Philadelphia soul era. Working closely with producer Tom Bell, she crafted some of the genre's most heartfelt and enduring hits for the stylistics including You Make Me Feel Brand New and Betcha by Golly, Wow, as well as classics like Whitney Houston's Greatest Love of All. Despite tragically passing away at just 37, her poetic, emotional, honest lyrics helped define the lush orchestral sound of the 1970s soul and continues to resonate today. Arif Mardin, getting in for musical excellence, known as the greatest ears in town, was a masterful producer and arranger who shaped decades of popular music. From co-producing Aretha Franklin's breakthrough hits like Respect to guiding the Bee Gees' Disco Explosion, Hall & Oates, Chaka Khan, and Norah Jones' Grammy-winning Come Away With Me, Mardin's sophisticated touch and gift for mentoring artists left an indelible mark on soul, disco, pop, and beyond. Jimmy Miller, another one getting in for musical excellence. Jimmy Miller was one of the most influential producers of the late 1960s and early 1970s. He captured raw groove and live energy on landmark albums for Traffic, Blind Faith, and especially the Rolling Stones during their creative peak, producing classics like Beggar's Banquet, Let It Bleed, Sticky Fingers, and Exile on Main Street. Known for his intuitive, band-friendly approach, Miller helped define the sound of classic rock. Rick Rubin, another one getting in for musical excellence. Rick Rubin is one of the most influential producers in modern music history. As co-founder of Def Jam Recordings, he helped shape hip-hop's golden era with the Beastie Boys, Run DMC, LL Cool J, and Public Enemy, while also producing landmark metal albums for Slayer. Later, his minimalist style revitalized Johnny Cash's career with the American Recordings series and produced major hits for artists like Adele, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and many others, constantly bridging genres and generations. Last one, Ed Sullivan, getting in for the Ahmet Ertegun Award. Ed Sullivan was the legendary television host whose show became a cultural institution and a major force in popularizing rock and roll. For 23 years, The Ed Sullivan Show introduced millions of American families to groundbreaking artists like Elvis Presley, the Beatles, James Brown, the Rolling Stones, and many black performers at a time when television was still largely segregated. By consistently platforming diverse talent and refusing to bow to racial pressure, Sullivan helped break down barriers and shape the soundtrack of a generation. While there are a few names that sound like unusual picks for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, there are still some big names I'm excited to announce. And as tradition goes, I'm going to pick an album by one of these artists and talk about it in my next video. But what artist will I pick and what album will I pick? Find out next time. But until then, let's give one more round of applause for the artist who got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Congratulations, class of 2026, and I'll see you guys in another video. Catch you then.